Yo, what's going on, man? Today is March the 2nd, 2025. I think it's 9 games on the board for the NBA today. We're going to jump right into it. No recap for me yesterday. I know I came on here, talked about a couple things that I liked, but actually didn't end up pulling the trigger on anything. I think it would have been 3 and 2 in the 5 plays that I talked about yesterday. A couple of the early ones were winners, and a couple of the late ones were losers. But we'll jump straight into it for today, since there is no recap, and then we'll get into a few of the games. I didn't go through all of them, but we'll get into a few of the games as well. What up, Scott? Appreciate you for tapping in. Likes Jokic rebounds and assists as he's playing it until it misses. A dude's been a monster. That's facts. He has been. Me either, prolific. Not too crazy about it at all. What up, Hyman Brings? Appreciate you for tapping in. It seems like Jackson was on to something with the Sixers. Warriors fame. They did. They looked terrible last night. I mean, you can't let Quentin Grimes score 50 if you want to win, but felt like a setup. Definitely felt like a setup. I didn't put $1. I just need the Warriors to keep winning games. So I was a little disappointed that they lost the game last night. But Jimmy gets ruled out. ESPN game. Sixers haven't won since the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was a lot going on yesterday. What up, LJ? Says top of the morning. Memphis is officially on the ban list. 271 ATS last 10. No way I could lay the points last night. I just didn't expect their defense to look that bad. They looked terrible defensively, man. I knew their defense was bad. We talked about it yesterday, but I didn't think that they looked that bad against the Spurs, though. What up, Chad? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Kevin. Says, how about them Bucks? Told y'all. Oh, you a told y'all guy. Okay. They did look good yesterday. Though, for sure. What up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in. Good morning, Taylor. Says big W for Chris and the Commanders fan, Debo. If he can stay healthy, man, we need Debo to stay healthy if he's gonna be on the Commanders, man. I need him to stay healthy. Debo be missing too many games for me, but that's neither here nor there. Good morning, Mark. Appreciate you for tapping in. A lot of comments. I thought that it wouldn't be this many. I'm not gonna be able to get through all of them, but appreciate y'all for tapping in. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Prestigious Prodigy. What up, Matt? What up, Jalen? Top of the morning to Peasy, Billy, Elsie's World. Let's jump into it for today, man. So we'll start as we always do with Jackson. Simple prompt for Jackson today. And if you're new to Jackson, I talk about this all the time. I see people continue to sign up, but Jackson is an AI sports betting tool that you can utilize to help you with your handicap. You can tell the plays if you want to as well. Jackson liked the a loser yesterday, which was the under. I like the under too between Memphis and in San Antonio. Just kind of wanted to wait on the injury report. Didn't see the news when it first dropped, so I stayed off. And the total did go over the 244 total, which Jackson liked the under. Today, Jackson actually likes the Cavs minus the 11. It says that they boast a 49-10 record at leading the Eastern Conference by 7.5 games. The 24-7 at the crib, scoring an impressive 123.6 points per game at Rockets Mortgage Fieldhouse. They're on a 5-game winning streak, outscoring their opponents by average of 20.6 points per game during that span. The Trailblazers are missing key pieces like Jeremy Grant, who hasn't been ruled out yet, but maybe Jackson know a little bit more than me. Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams III, and DeAndre Ayton. This leaves their front court severely depleted, making it difficult for them to contain Cleveland's interior presence, especially Evan Mobley. While Portland is on a 4-game winning streak, their recent success has been against weaker competition. Their defense ranks 18th in the league, allowing 114.1 points per game. And there's some more matchup dynamics and betting trends as well. I'm not going to read all this stuff because I just don't feel like it, but I will read the betting trends. It says Cleveland is 14-4 ATS in non-conference games this season, and they've covered the spread in 5 of their last 6. The Portland Trailblazers are 1-5 ATS in their last 6 games against Cleveland, and their injury-depleted roster makes it unlikely that they'll keep this game close. So Cavs minus the 11 is the top ATS bet for Jackson today. And initially I thought about, trying to take the points with Portland. I don't think I'm going to do so. We will jump into that matchup in just a second. It is a game that I do have a play kind of just loaded in the chamber for. We'll see if I end up making it or not. But that's Jackson. Player prop size totals all the sports, you name it. Check out the link in the description to get 50% off if you want to sign up. You can also just go over to jaXon. You get 5 free prompts per month. The month did just start, so you can check that out as well. Let's jump into it for today. First up, we got the Denver Nuggets. They will be in Boston. They're getting, it looks like 3.5 is consensus. This total has come down from 237 down to 234. There is a 235, I think, out there in the market on Caesars if you're interested in the total. Now, it looks like all 234s, 234.5. So total has come down a little bit. The money has come in on Boston to win this game. They open as a 2.5-point favorite, up to 3.5-point favorite now. And I can't bet Boston right now, even though they have not lost 3 straight games all season. I think that's something to worth note. But the injury report, Porzingis is still listed as doubtful due to, an illness, I think, for Porzingis. And then then you also got Jaylen Brown listed as doubtful. Jaylen Brown listed as questionable, and Drew Holiday listed as doubtful. Aaron Gordon on the Denver side is listed as questionable as well. So a bunch of key injury implications in this game, in my opinion. I think if I had to play it, I do want to take the points with Denver. I know Boston has been good. They've only lost 2 games back-to-back once this season. The next game they played against Indiana, they smoked Indiana 142-105. But I kind of feel like they need all the guns, man. They just had a 25-3 lead against the Cleveland Cavaliers in their last game. This is a 1:00 start game as well. It's on national TV, so some things to take into consideration. But when I was looking at it, Boston did win the earlier matchup in Denver. That was a game that Jokic did not play in. I think Aaron Gordon also missed that game. They beat them 118-106 as a 10.5-point favorite back on January the 7th. The game did stay under the total of 232 as well. Denver has been playing pretty good basketball as of late. They are 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the number. This is 3rd game in 4 nights in the last game of a 4-game road trip. The Boston Celtics are 7-3 straight up, 6-4 against the spread in their last 10 games. They failed to cover 3 straight though, and they have back-to-back losses, like I said, against Cleveland and Detroit. They're only 1-4 ATS in their last 5 games that Porzingis hasn't played in. So put all that together, and what do I like? I actually like the under here. I know I just lost the under bet with Boston. They were playing against Cleveland on Friday night, and that one squeaked up and over the total. I think it ended up going over by like 6 points. But I like the under here. I do think, looking at what Boston wants to do, they want to shoot a ton of threes. Denver's been doing a good job putting pressure on the 3-point line. Denver also a team that takes a lot of shots at the rim. I know that Jokic is like all world, probably MVP if Shea doesn't get it. But Boston does a really good job in Porzingis plays of, kind of limiting teams from scoring at the rim. So I think the way that they match up, Boston also playing super slow. They're actually playing at the second slowest pace over the last 5 games. I know Denver plays fast, but their defense has actually picked up a little bit as well. So I like the under. 234.5 is a lot of points. 9 of the last 10 matchups between these 2 teams have stayed under this number of 234.5. Also, the trend that I talked about on Friday, 2 elite teams, playing after the All-Star break, but before the playoffs, where the line is like really, really close. So you got like a 4-point line either way. 39-20-1 to the under. That's about 66% dating back to 2021. And that trend goes all the way back to like 2012. So I like under here a little bit more than anything else. I haven't bet it because I want to see what happens with the injury report for Boston. I feel like the game went over on Friday because they were missing some key defensive guys. And I don't like that Drew Holiday is listed as game time decision. I don't like that Porzingis is listed as game time decision. And Jaylen Brown is listed as questionable. But that's my thought process. I kind of want to take the points with Denver. I do kind of feel like they can win this game. That's my thought process on this one. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Justin said jaXon like the 76ers yesterday. Yeah, I think it was a malfunction, but that's what it said, Justin. You're right. Let's see. Let's see. Kyrie says, I like how you stay away from certain stuff and stand on business. It helps me weave through the BS. You got to, man. It's way too many games to try to be figuring stuff out. And I'm still trying to figure this one out, if I'm being honest. But yeah, you can navigate through it. It's more time for you to do other things in your day, man. Let's see what else y'all like in here. Got to the Grizz line too early. These injury reports been trash. Yeah, they have been. Andrew says DK been delaying the availability of Shaden Sharp. Kid's been killing it. Yeah, he has been balling. Prestigious Prodigy like the Celtics -3.5. LJ says Denver is 10-4 ATS. 10-4 to the over as a dog. Jokic over his 26.5 points. Averages 28 last 6 against Boston. Okay. G says not gonna overthink it. Celtics -3.5 on a Sunday. No KP. Who's gonna stop Joker? Al Horford. That's a fact, bro. We don't know if KP's gonna play though. Like sometimes these players, magically heal up like Wolverine, and before you know it, boom, they get upgraded to questionable, then upgraded to shoot around. The next thing you know, they on the floor playing. We'll see how it goes though. We shall see how it goes, man. Let's see. Appreciate you, Andrew. Mel says books keep giving me bonuses on Celtics game. Usually an indicator they won't cover. Anybody's game though. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's anybody's game as well. I feel like Denver can win this one. Morning Frankie says good job with the Washington team total over yesterday. You were right. You can't lay points with Charlotte right now. Sometimes you just take the lesser of the two evils, and the team catching points typically the one you want to take. I didn't put $1 on it though. That's what scares me, Adam. Does Boston keep losing, man? I don't know. I just know Denver has been playing really good basketball. Mark says he'll go Boston team total under. I like the full game under, but I can see that. Helper Ham says let's go with the cashier. Jason Tatum over his rebounds and assists. He has been cashing that number easily too. Scott says I'm going to see if it hits 4.5 with the Nuggets. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to touch 4.5. Not today. What up, J-Man? People do love betting the Celtics, Scott. They do, man. I like Denver in this spot. That's the way that I'm looking. I just want to see what happens with the injury report. Taylor says if Gordon is out, I'll be targeting Russ over his 4.5 rebounds. Celtics allowed the 25th most rebounds to guards. Makes sense with the amount of threes they make. Without Gordon, Russ is over 54% hit rate, averaging 6 boards. That makes sense. 77 figures was at the Celtics games on Friday. We thought game was over at 25-3. They bounced back. I bet Celtics, Boston -3.5. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people like Boston today. It makes sense. Denver is not as good defensively. Denver is really good offensively, though. So, in my opinion, if you want Boston, you want some of those defenders being out there. I don't know if y'all saw Sam Hauser skating all across the floor, but Jamal Murray can definitely make him dance today, too. Just FYI. Like, you want Boston, you need them to play some defense. If you think Cleveland offense is good, Denver's offense is just as good. That's the last thing that I'll mention. I like under though, and I like Denver. Next game up, let's go to Portland and Cleveland. So this is one where you kind of, in my opinion, maybe you need to wait on the injury report. I had a play that I was like, I still got it in the bet slip, and I was this close to firing off, and I was like, no, I'm gonna wait and check the injury report and wait for all the dust to settle and the smoke to clear. So we got a Portland team here. So injury report, we got Denny Avdia, game time decision, Jeremy Grant, game time decision. On the opposite side for Cleveland, there will be no Donovan Mitchell. He is listed as out for rest in this game. Robert Williams has already been ruled out. There's no Aiden in this game either. And for that reason, let's just see where the line went to real quick. So it opened 10.5, is up to 11.5. The total shot all the way up from 228.5 up to 235.5. And while I agree with the total going up, I think it's a tad bit too high. Specifically, what I like is I like a Portland team total under, and I'll tell you guys about that in just a second. So we start off with the for whatever reason, Portland typically plays Cleveland pretty well. The 5 of the last 6 totals have stayed under in the head-to-head matchup. So I like to see that. You got a Portland team coming in here that is 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the spread. They've covered 3 of their last 4 games. It is the first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow. But the Portland Trail Blazers have actually played the easiest strength of schedule over the last 5 games. So while they have been winning and they've been covering a little bit as well, it's been against the cupcakes of the league. They lost to the Lakers. Remember, the Lakers won the second leg of a back-to-back after losing to Charlotte. Everybody wanted to bet Portland in that game. The Lakers came into Portland and smoked the Portland Trail Blazers. After that game, after they lost to the Lakers, they beat Charlotte. You're not getting any kudos from me for that. You beat Utah. Definitely can't get any kudos for that. Then you beat the Wizards. I can't celebrate that one. And then you follow that up with a win against Brooklyn. Can't celebrate that one either. So they have played a very cupcake schedule, the easiest strength of schedule for the Portland Trail Blazers. In my opinion, because of that, their offense is overrated, in my opinion. They are the 12th best offensive rating of 116.4 over the last 5 games. Their defense also feels overrated. They're the number 1 rated defense over the last 5 games. Out of everybody in the league, the Portland Trail Blazers got the best defensive rating, 102.3, third in efficiency differential, and they're playing at the fastest pace in the NBA. But like I said, the number that sticks out to me the most is that strength of schedule, easiest strength of schedule. Now you look at the Cavs, 9-1 straight up, 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. They're 6-0-1 against the number in their last 7. Big comeback win, down 22 points on Friday against Boston, and now that they're back home. So the thing that made the most sense to me when I was looking into the game was the Portland team total under 112.5. And here's the reason why. I don't trust them offensively because of the strength of schedule, like I just talked about. I know that they're playing super fast, number 1 in pace. And Cleveland loves to play fast as well. Cleveland actually playing a lot slower. They're 25th in pace over the last 5 games. It don't mean that they don't want to get out and run against Portland, 2 really, fast-paced teams. Cleveland just playing a lot slower over the last 5 games, though. What else I put in my notes? Okay, so Portland against top 10 defensive teams, which Cleveland is 7th best defense on the full season. Cleveland is also 3rd best defense over the last 5 games. So against teams that are top 10 defensively, Portland is a minus 11.9 in net rating, which is about right where the spread is. And they have an offensive rating of just 104.3. Portland has actually been a double-digit dog 10 times this season. They're 8-2 to the under in those games, including staying under their team total in all 10 games. All 10 games, the Portland Trail Blazers stayed under their team total of their double-digit dog. Cleveland has actually held 7 of their 9 opponents under their team total if they're a double-digit home favorite with at least 1 day of rest. So if they're not playing on the second leg of a back-to-back, laying double digits as a home favorite, opponents are 7-9 to their team total under. They've only given up 113, which is what the Portland team total is today, 2 of those 9 games. So I like a Portland team total under here. I want to see what happens with Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant, because if those guys get rolled in, I do think the total goes up a little bit more. And then I'll play a 112.5. It looks like 112.5 is only available in 3 books right now. It is juiced to the under, unless you have FanDuel, it's minus 110 both ways. But it's minus 115 on Bet365, minus 125 on ESPN Bet, and every other sportsbook got a 111.5. So hopefully that makes sense to you all. This is in my best slip. I haven't placed it yet. I do think that that Cleveland defensively can slow down this Portland offense. Let's see if we have thoughts on this one. So Nick says he says if Boston plays half as good as they as that last game, they will blow out the Nuggets. The Nuggets are not the Cavs. Nope, never. He says never 3 in a row, and definitely not national TV. Okay. So you don't even care who they got out there. You don't care if they got Sam Hauser on defense or Peyton Pritchard on defense, and those guys got to guard Jamal Murray, huh? I get it, though. I get it. People love Boston. I love Boston, too. Adam says Cleveland smash spot even without Mitchell. I kind of feel like they get up for this game, too, man. I know that they're coming off a big win against Boston, but Cleveland, I think they keep the foot to the pedal today, man. I feel like Portland been playing against the cupcakes, too. LJ says Cavs 8-1 against the spread. First quarter at home versus the West, 9-3. Last 12 over to the over after a win. Okay. Brian says Cleveland trifecta. I said the same thing last comment, but said Cleveland instead of Portland. I agree with Chris. Let's get it. So he likes Cleveland early and often. What else we saying about this one? Yeah, I did see that Kool-Aid minus 112 both ways, not juice. They're the only book that got it that way, though. Like I said, I kind of want to wait and see what happens. Jeremy Grant and Denny Avdia means a lot to the offense, in my opinion. Denny Avdia means a lot to the defense, in my opinion, as well. But we'll see. It'll be a lot more minutes for guys like, I guess, Chris Murray and Day'Ron Sharp. Shaden Sharp, my fault. If they don't play, we'll see. Daryl says Portland under player props, definitely some inflated numbers. The total is 236 now, Steven says. Chaz is not laying double digits here, but his Cavs are nothing. Glad caught alive. I'm glad you caught alive as well. Appreciate that. And Steven says that they are playing. I did not see anything that said they were playing. Maybe let me update my injury report real quick. Let's see. Let's see if we know for sure if those guys are playing. Ayo is out. Nope, we do not know if those guys are playing or not. They didn't play in the last game, so you got a source, Steven? Let me know. If you don't know for sure, please don't put that in the comment section. No, I really hate spreading misinformation. Don't like spreading misinformation. Those guys are listed as questionable. They potentially may not play. All right, let's move over to the next game. We have the Knicks and the Heat. I didn't really get to this game and look too deeply into this one, but we could talk about it. The line has moved a lot already. I think I wrote 5.5 in my notes. It's up to 6.5. The total has come down from 224 down to 220. We'll start with the injury report really quickly. I'm actually not gonna stay on this game too long. I'm gonna go over to to Underdog real quick, and then we'll keep it pushing. I don't want to spend too much time on this one. So Josh Hart is probable, I want to say, for the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is game time decision. He did make a season debut in the last one. So the Knicks could have a pretty clean injury report. The Miami Heat have Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Wiggins, I think. Yeah, both listed as doubtful in this game. Jovic is out as well. The Miami Heat are coming off a really big win against the Indiana Pacers. I didn't see that one coming. But offensively, they've looked good over the last few games. The Knicks got a big win against the Memphis Grizzlies a couple nights ago. This is second leg. This is the second game of the season. The Knicks beat the Miami Heat 116-107 as a 1.5 point home favorite. The game did go up and over the total of 214.5. The totals are 7-3 to the over in the last 10. I guess that's one way you could kind of look at this one. We know that the Knicks play a lot of they don't do a really good job guarding the pick and roll. Tyler Hero lives in the pick and roll. So probably a look towards his points to go over. I kind of feel like, I know I said last game that the Miami Heat struggle offensively, which I still feel like I can't back over in this game because I never want to trust Miami offensively, especially when Wiggins and Jaime Jaquez Jr. on the injury report being listed as doubtful. Maybe a look just towards the Knicks team total to go up and over. Maybe that's the way you play it. I think Tyler Hero is going to have a big game. I don't really trust a lot of their other offense, though. I'm not big on Duncan Robinson. I know Khalil Ware got benched in the last game. Bam Adebayo, just kind of, I don't know, man. I probably should have just skipped over this one. Let's go over the Outlier, Moneyballer real quick. Maybe Moneyballer got some more on this game because I don't really like this one as much. And if you've been watching the program for a while, I'm not talking about the Pacers either, but I do kind of want to play the Pacers. I kind of want to play the Heat team, the Bulls team total under, but I'm gonna stay away from that. All right, so Knicks and Heat. You got the Knicks coming off a win as a dog, potential letdown spot here. You got the Heat coming off a win as a dog as well, potential letdown spot for them. First leg of a back-to-back. They do have the in-season revenge. Baller Systems active says back late season medium road favorites. So teams not laying too many points on the road. That says the Knicks. And then we also got a Baller System on the Miami Heat. It says fade teams off a close win by a small margin. So the Heat do play against the Wizards tomorrow, and they'll be at home. The Knicks actually got tomorrow off before Golden State comes to town on Tuesday. Let's see. Let's just look at, I want to look at the last 10 games real quick. I know the Knicks haven't been great. Knicks are 7-3 straight up, but just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. They have played 3 straight unders. The Heat haven't been great either. 4-6 straight up, 4-5-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. And like I mentioned, they got the Wizards tomorrow. This is their 3rd straight home game, though. So last 10 games, we can see offensive rating for the Knicks. Even though they have been missing some players, middle of the pack, defensive rating been terrible. Actually, second worst defensive rated team over the last 10 games. 129, 121 defensive rating. The Heat offense, terrible, bottom 6. Defensive rating 115, so kind of middle of the pack. Heat playing at the slowest pace in the NBA. Knicks 18th in pace. Let's see. Knicks not pushing pace a lot. Excuse me. Not getting out running. 18th in fast break points. Heat do a really good job of limiting teams in transition. Heat also not playing fast. You can tell they're only averaging 11.5 fast break points. But the Knicks are giving it up, 17.6 in transition. But I don't expect the Heat to even try to get out and run fast, honestly, in this game. Let's look at some trends. So we got Knicks just 2-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. Heat 5-5 against the spread. 4-5-1 against the spread in their last 5. As a road favorite, the Knicks have covered both of their games in the first half. See, Knicks 2-0 to the over in the first half and full game as a road favorite. All right, let's go full season real quick. Look at some full season trends. This is probably not a game that I'm gonna bet. I'm just trying to go through, honestly, show you how Moneyball will work. Let's see. So ATS wise, we got not a lot that really sticks out. The Heat do struggle on the first leg of back-to-back games. Only 2-8-1 against the spread. Not a lot for the Knicks here. Heat 5-1 to the over as a home dog. 8-3 to the over on the first leg of back-to-back games. Their opponents do score well. 4-1-1 to the over are their opponents if they're a home dog. So the Heat defense has not been that great. And then the Knicks 13-5-1 against the number when they're a favorite of 2.5 to 7 points. The Heat as a dog of 2.5 to 7 points, only 4-8. So this says Knicks against the spread and potentially Knicks team total up and over. Could be ways to bet this game. The Knicks team total is 113.5 right now. Do they get to 114? The Heat team total is 107.5. Not a game that I'm really interested in betting. I probably shouldn't even bought this one up, honestly. Let's go through the comments real quick and see if people are see what y'all thinking about this one. Cat and Hart, rebounds and assists. Look at the spread and then look at the margin. Yeah, that's what I just looked at, Daryl. Let's see. Adam says, if you're going to give me 6.5 with Miami right now, New York is overvalued in this spot. I gotta have Bam and Hero in. You also, I think you need more than that, though, Adam. You don't care about the Miami Heat being able to score the basketball potentially without Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Wiggins, and you already don't got Jovic. Like I'm worried about the Miami Heat being able to score the basketball consistently. Yeah, Horse, you should definitely fade my picks and don't come back either, bro, because I'm gonna just keep losing you money. So just stay away from the channel. It's a lot of other channels that you can watch to find picks, my brother. A lot of other picks you can find to watch. What up, Si? Appreciate you for tapping in, bro. Dirty Jerry says Hero over his points been cash. Yeah, the line is a little bit inflated though, Dirty Jerry. I was looking into Hero last night. It's a tad bit too inflated in my opinion. Saturated says 6.5 feels like a lot. I agree with that. Let's see. What up, BC Sean? Appreciate you for tapping in. What else? I think that's it. I don't see any other comments. Under nothing, Steven says. I don't really like this game a lot. Like I said, I didn't do graphics for the Bulls game, but kind of lean Bulls team total. The Bulls team total is dropping though, but we're not gonna talk about that game. Let's go to another game. Let's go to Raptors and Magic. So there's a play that I like in this one, and the play is actually quickly. So we'll talk about that in a second. But on the injury report, let's talk about Toronto. We got Obaji listed as out. He's really the only person, honestly, for that team. And then on the Orlando side, of course, no Jalen Suggs, but they should be fully healthy outside of that. So this is the first of a little mini series. They do play again. These two teams play again in Orlando on Tuesday. So season series split at 1-1. Both teams that won actually covered. Both games went under the total of 214. I think it was 214 and a half and then 213 and a half. And this total was at 211 and a half last night. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Damn, it's gone. It's 209 and a half now. So the total has dropped a lot. I guess I would kind of agree with that. So we got a Toronto team that's been struggling. They're 2-8 straight up, 5-5 against the number in their last 10 games. They've lost 3 straight, coming off a 10-point overtime loss to the Chicago Bulls. They actually had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, lost the game by 10 points at overtime. So, and they're coming off the overtime game. Orlando hasn't been great either, though. They're 5-5 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. 7-3 to the under. Back-to-back non-covers against Golden State and Cleveland. 5th straight home game for them, though, so you like to see that. What I was looking at in this game, though, was a look at Quickly. So I'm going to go back over to Outlier. And, first time I think I've been an Outlier today. I actually like Quickly to go under his points plus points plus assists here. So you can see his last 10 games. He's up and over the number. We just zoom out to the full season. He's played in 21 games. He's hit the over in 48% of the games. So he has stayed under over the full season, averaging 21.8 points plus assists, which is a shade bit under this number. Recently, though, you can see what is this 2, 4, 6. He's hit the over in 6 of his last 8 games. So if we go last 10, you can see he's up and over in 6 of the last 10. But the reason I like it is because of the matchup. Quickly is going to, so if you look at Quickly in the games that he's played with RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes, it's been 11 games. He's hit the over in 5 of them. So a little bit more towards the under with both of those guys playing. But if you take into consideration against top 10 defenses with those guys all playing, he's actually hit the under every single game. So 5 games he's hit the under if he's playing against a top 10 defense. He finished with 22 points and assists in the earlier matchup that they played earlier this season. So if we go full season and we just go head to head, you can see that he did land right on the marker here at 22. He finished with 11 points and 11 assists in that game. This was the only game that he played against them this season. But if you go back to last season, he played against them 3 times. The under hit every single game as well. And the other thing I like is in this game here that he played earlier this season, RJ didn't play. So he had more usage. I'm thinking that he's going to have less usage in this game. Against teams that are top 10 in points allowed via above the break 3, which is where Quickly scores a bunch of his points. Quickly's under in 6 of his 8 games, averaging just 20.3 points and assists. And then there is some insight down here at the bottom over here on Outlier. It says that Quickly has failed to exceed 22.5 points and assists in 5 of his 6 games versus top 10 defenses for assists allowed. He's averaging just 17.5 points and assists in these games. So I do think that this Orlando Magic defense is going to be on him like white on rice. I think Quickly struggles. They also got other guys that can score the basketball. So I like Quickly under his 22.5 points plus assists. Let's see real quick where the best line is available. Quickly. 22.5. It is actually juiced to the over on most books. FanDuel got a -108 right now, and I think that's the best number available. We've been picking off some unders against this Orlando Magic defense, and I think this is the one that kind of jumped out to me. We've been profitable betting against this, betting on the Orlando Magic defense. They also coming off 2 back-to-back losses. I think they'll be locked in here. I think Quickly struggles. So that is what I like in this game here. Yeah, and I just kind of stayed away from the side, the spread, the total, all that stuff. I don't really care about all that. Let's go through the comments and see if we got any other looks here. Let's see. No bet here, but I gotta say Brunson is him. Avid Knicks fan here, and gotta show love. Taylor likes Brunson today. Minus 7.5 is a lot, but the Magic been trying to kick it up, even though they've been losing. I agree with that. Joe says since 2020, after the All-Star break, teams that went over in the previous matchup that had a total less than 215 and a total of less than 215 again, 33, 22, and 3 to the over. So he thinks this one could potentially go up and over. Appreciate this comment from Nada. Adam says, I hope the Magic does what they are supposed to do to a weak Toronto team on the road and a strong Magic team at the crib. The line is going up. I got 6.5. Chad says too many points for the Magic in current form. Give me the Raptors. Yeah, I you know what? This is what I was thinking last night, Chad. I was like, man, I don't really want to lay too many points with a team that, struggles to score the basketball. I think the under is probably the right play. Like, real quick, let's just look at the Magic as a home favorite this season. They are 13-7 against the number, so they're covering about 65%. They're winning right at this margin, though. 108 to 107 is what the average has been. They have covered back-to-back as a home favorite against the Hornets and against the Wizards. 3 straight unders as well. It looks like 6 of their last 8 have gone under the total in this spot as a home favorite. Yes, I feel like it's a lot of points. What if they're laying, let's just say they're laying 2 possessions or more, 5.5. 8-5 against the number, 8-5 to the under, winning by about 9 points. They have stayed 5 straight unders, games averaging 209 points, which is right where this total is. What about the Raptors? Because they are coming off an overtime game. Raptors after an overtime game this season are, see if we can get this to populate. That's the one thing that kind of scared me, is the Raptors potentially running out of gas in this spot. And that's why I didn't really want to play the spread. I looked at the spread. I was like, man, no, I don't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable with it at first. I definitely don't feel comfortable with the line going up. It's going to be dependent upon, in my opinion, it's going to be dependent upon if the Raptors can get stopped. So the Raptors are surprisingly 4-0 against the spread coming off an overtime game. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread coming off an overtime game. So maybe the Magic can score in this spot. The Raptors went over against the Nuggets, the Hornets, the Pacers, and the Suns. A lot of those are offensive teams, but the Hornets aren't. That was the first game of the season, one of the first games of the season, though. So 2-2 straight up, 4-0 to the over, 4-0 against the spread. Are the Raptors coming off an overtime game? I didn't really care about looking too deeply into all that. Helper Hand says quickly under his 2.5 threes at minus 125. I like that a lot. Brian says he'll lay the points at home. He says, I want them. Hopefully they get the job done. They have to start winning. They do, but do it need to be by this margin, though, Brian. I hope you cash it. Raptors plus the points for Pedro. Let's see. Money-making Magic team at home. That's not whack. That's a profitable team. They have been profitable at the crib. Burrell says Raptors plus 7.5. Magic not covering. Taylor likes to quickly look. He said he'll just play the points under 17.5. He says he scores 50% of his points versus brother break 3. This is why I liked it as well. Magic allowed at least the amount of points in that shot zone. First team 15 for better this season. He's under 9 of his 14 games this year, averaging 14.2. I like that. I added the assist onto it as well, Taylor. I do like that. Haven't locked it in yet, but I will be on quickly under his points plus assist today. GLB, what's up, bro? He says, I'm in the car, so can't check, but he took RJ Barrett over his 5.5 boards. Okay. CJ says, I was going to take the Raptors team total over. Best of luck if you do. I'm not on the opposite side. Bonchero over his boards, over 6.5. Raptors not a good rebounding team, so I can see Bonchero eating on the boards. He's a good rebounder, but they did get Jakob Poeltl back. Let's see. All right, enough on that game. Let's go to another one. We got the Spurs and the Thunder. Spurs and the Thunder, man. So what we got here? We got Chet officially out already. Of course, San Antonio can submit the injury report late because they're on the second leg of a back-to-back. But we got Chet out. We know for sure already. It looks like Isaiah Joe is going to be out as well. And I think that should be it for OKC. Everybody else should be good to go. Like I said, San Antonio can submit their injury report late. This total, let's talk about where the line opened at. So OKC was laying 14 points, 13.5, and that's about where it still is. The total has dropped 3 points, though, from 240 down to 237. And I know we've been talking about OKC not playing a lot of defense. We actually cashed the over with them on Friday in their last game. Excuse me, against the Atlanta Hawks. Excuse me. But I don't think I think San Antonio pulled a fast one on Memphis yesterday. OKC is still the 5th rated defense over the last 5. I'm sorry, 19th rated defense over the last 5 games. 17th, 117 defensive rating. The San Antonio Spurs are playing really, really fast. When I looked into this game, the thing that jumps out to me the most is we've been talking about, if you've been paying attention, we've been talking about not betting on this line is moving to 4 for Boston. It is moving for Boston. Did we get some injury news? Let me just pause for a second and see if we got some injury news. Julius Randle intends to play. Porzingis has been ruled out. Jaylen Brown is in. Drew Holiday ruled out, and the line moving to 4. Yeah, that's easy for me to stay off of. That makes no sense at all. No Holiday, no Porzingis. Jaylen Brown is in, and the line is moving towards Boston. I can't make that one make sense. That line should be moving towards Denver, so I'll gladly stay off of that one. I don't understand it. Anyway, getting back into this game. So, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying, but so looking at the matchup here. No, this is what I was saying. I was saying that the way that I view this game is just to look towards, like, if I want to play the game, I want to look towards Oklahoma City to be able to score the basketball. Offensively, they've looked really, really good recently. To put some numbers to that, let's see. OKC's team total is 125.5. I kind of feel like they can score 130. They are the second best offense, 127.1 offensive rating over the last 5 games. They get a San Antonio team that I know they're on the second leg of a back-to-back, and they had to exert a lot of energy last night, but they did have some rest before that. Defensively, though, they're still bottom 10 defensive rated team over the last 10 games. Got a defensive rating of 117. OKC at the crib, 8th in pace. San Antonio playing fast, 6th in pace over the last 5 games as well. I kind of feel like OKC should be able to name their number in this game. I would just be playing the team total up and over 125.5. I think that, like I said, both of these teams going to be able to get out, push the pace, and San Antonio is going to struggle defensively. This is not the Memphis Grizzlies defense on the other end. So let's see real quick. Since the All-Star break, the Thunder have played 5 games. They are averaging 130 points, 5-0 to the over. They've scored 128 or better in all 5 games. I can't figure out a reason why they can't do it again here. So yeah, I'll be looking towards OKC's team total. I haven't played it yet, but 125 is available without a lot of juice over on FanDuel, and that's the way that I would play this one. 128 against Timberwolves, 130 against the Timberwolves, 130 against the Jazz, 129 against the Nets, and 135 against the Hawks. So that's the way that I would look to play this one. This is the 3rd matchup of the season. Both games have actually gone under the total so far this season of 221 and 222.5. This total, of course, is a lot higher. And like I mentioned, OKC is just playing one way and one way only. San Antonio could potentially run out of gas here as well. They are playing their 7th game in 11 nights in this one. So that's the way that I kind of think about this one. Let's see what we are thinking about here. What up, Charles? Appreciate you for tapping in. Appreciate you for dropping this in here, Corey. I did not see that. Hardenstein over his 11.5 boards for Davis. It's no check. San Antonio's been hurting on the boards without Wemby. That makes a lot of sense, David. Makes a lot of sense. Marquis says he likes the over 236. Could not talk you off. Taylor says, Chris, I was curious if you had any information on the San Antonio team total. No Wemby and back-to-back. Curious what the offensive numbers are with those 2 situations, especially versus OKC at home. So the thing that scares me off is just how bad they've been defensively, Taylor. If we look at like if I just go in, let's just plug this in real quick. Let's look at San Antonio offensively. Let's see if they should be able to score. OKC eventually is going to get it together defensively. They are still the best defensive team in the NBA overall. 106.3 defensive rating at home, 105.5 defensive rating. So they're a little bit better at home as well. San Antonio should struggle to score. Let's see. So last 5 games, San Antonio is 26th in offensive rating, 25th in effective field goal percentage, offensive rating of just 106.7. That's with them, scoring a bunch of points in Memphis last night. They have been attacking the rim more than anything else. They're 9th in rim frequency last 5 games, and they're 9th in corner 3 frequency. The corner 3 frequency is scary because OKC's 3-point defense has been not that good. That's where they've actually struggled. Corner 3 specifically, they're 27th in opponent corner 3 frequency. So teams are shooting that shot at will against OKC, and they're shooting it well. 22nd is what OKC ranks in corner 3 defense, 41.5%. So that's a little bit scary, but I do think that OKC should be able to lock San Antonio up on the second leg of a back-to-back. San Antonio is also a team that likes to get out and run. They're 3rd in transition frequency, 12th in transition efficiency last 5 games. OKC is number 4 in transition, in opponent transition frequency. So they don't allow you to run. 14th in points allowed, or you could say efficiency, in transition over the last handful of games. So yeah, I think let's see real quick. Let me just look at something. Let's just look at Wemby. I was looking, matter of fact, I did look into this already. I don't think I wrote it down and put it in my notes though. So I looked at the Spurs last night. To Taylor's point real quick, the Spurs only average, that's a handful of points. They don't average a lot of points on the second leg of back-to-backs. So the Spurs unrested are 7-3 to the under. They're only averaging 107 points per game. They're 4-6 against the spread, but more recently they are 2-6 against the spread because they covered the first 2. So offensively, they do struggle. They average 107 points per game. If they had to travel, they are 3-1 to the under. They average 105.75 points. So a little bit under 106, Taylor, if you're still listening, is what they average. They have gone under their team total in their last 3 matchups. And I can imagine without Wemby on the floor, their offense is not as great. Let's put some numbers to that real quick. So without Wemby on the floor, they are averaging. So with Wemby on the floor, their offensive rating is a 115.7. With Wemby off the floor, their offensive rating is 109.6. So they average about 6 fewer points. Defensively, they give up about 6 more points as well. So they are plus 2.9, almost a plus 3 with Wemby on the floor, and a minus 8.5 without Wemby on the floor, Taylor. So hopefully that helps your handicap. I just feel like defensively they're going to struggle in this spot, and I think Memphis, OKC should be able to score as many points as they want to here. Adam says the line is going up as well. I got 12.5 in the OKC smash spot. I hope they keep the momentum going off the Atlanta beatdown. David says Fox understands 21.5 points Dort treatment. So I think he likes the under. I also looked into Fox under as well. I think that's a really solid look. De'Aaron Fox under his points prop at 21.5. Makes a ton of sense here. This is the number 1 defensive rated team. Recently, they have not been. Fox gets a lot of his points. When I was looking at this, what popped up for me? He gets a lot of his points in transition. This is the second best transition defense in the NBA. Fox has played against the Oklahoma City Thunder twice so far this season. He finished with 20 points in the most recent game, and he finished with 14 in the first game. So, yeah, it's a lot of things. Those are only 2, but there's a lot of things that kind of make me think that De'Aaron Fox stays under his points prop in this game today as well. I like Fox to go under. As long as OKC is going to play really good defense. Jalen is in. Smells fishy. KP and Holiday were doubtful. That's why the line moved to Celtics. Excuse me. So I see if there's a 4.5, I kind of want to take Detroit. I kind of want to take Denver. Not gonna lie to y'all, man. I think Denver can keep this game within the number. If not, win it outright. 4.5 is available on DraftKings. We'll see if I end up getting there. If I do, I'll share it. LJ says OKC team total over is Played 130 plus 4 out of the last 5 games, 5-0 to the team total over last 5. That's what I just said as well. Helping Hand says Porzingis being out, more love for Tatum over his rebounds and assists. I agree with that. What up, Fahrenheit? Appreciate you for tapping in. Dirty Jerry says Vassell under 16.5 points is a look. Okay. Rome says I'm thinking Chris Paul under his points. Yeah. What is that team total for the Spurs? The team total for the Spurs is 112.5. That feels so high. That feels so high. Do the books know something that we don't know about OKC defensively? OKC has a defensive rating of 105 at home. And the Spurs on the second leg of a back-to-back exerted a ton of energy last night to even win that game against Memphis. And their team total is all the way up at 112.5. That just don't make sense to me. It feels too easy to take an under. It feels way too easy to take an under. Let's just look at the Thunder real quick. At home, and their opponent is unrested. The Thunder have been at home as a favorite. The Thunder have been at home with their opponent playing on no rest 5 times. They're 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the spread. They're giving up 111 points in this spot. The Timberwolves just scored 131. The Bucks scored 96. The Mavs scored 121 twice, and then the Magic scored 86. But they were unrested in a couple of these games as well. So let's look at the Thunder at home. Rest is greater than 0, and line is their double-digit favorite. So now they go to 9-3-1 against the spread, 7-6 to the over. They're only giving up 100 points per game in this spot, and they're scoring 121. So this is the Thunder at home as a favorite with more than 1 day's rest, and they're laying 10 points or more. It says Thunder. They haven't given up 113 since January the 22nd. So it's been 5 straight games they've held their opponents under this team total. It seems too easy to me, man. It just seems too easy to me. OKC's on the road. Oh, they are on the road. My fault. Glad you mentioned that, Adam. That throws everything off. Let's see. So I messed that up. I definitely thought OKC was at home. So let's see OKC as a road favorite. So OKC is 6-5 against the number as a road favorite, laying double digits. Their defense is not as good. That makes sense now. Okay. They gave up 119 to the Hawks, 121 to the Nets. Warriors scored 116. They held the Jazz to 107, the Trailblazers to 108, the 76ers to 102. So let's look at the Thunder and away, and their opponent is unrested. Okay, so Thunder on the road playing against a unrested opponent, 3-1 to the under. Defensively, they're allowing 109 points per game in this spot. They gave up 116 against the Warriors and the Timberwolves in the last one. I need to recalibrate this whole game, though. I appreciate you, Adam. I don't know how I messed that up. Yeah, I don't want OKC on the road laying this many points either. Appreciate you, PJ. Appreciate all y'all. I definitely messed that up. Appreciate you as well. All right, let's move over to the next game. I think it was Lakers and Clippers, the last one I want to talk about. And if y'all got questions, just let me know. I can look up stuff or answer questions, give y'all my thought process on a couple of these other games, but most of them I don't really care too much about based on the injury report. Lakers versus the Clippers. This line has shifted a lot, of course. The Lakers were actually open, laying 1.5 or 2 points. And now they're 3-point dogs in this spot. I think only way I can make it make sense is that Austin Reeves is listed as doubtful. He ended up going out in that last game. You do got the quick revenge spot here for the Clippers. The Lakers just beat them in that most recent game. Lakers have been hooping, man. This team has been on fire. So Derrick Jones Jr. is out for the Clippers. Norman Powell, who missed that game on Friday, I think he missed the game on Friday, I want to say. He is Yeah, he's missed 5 straight games. And they desperately need him. The Clippers have not been good recently. 4-6 straight up, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. They failed to cover 6 straight. And this also is a 6th straight game on the road. I guess you can call it a road game. But they are in LA, of course. And then on the Lakers side of things, I mentioned, Rui Hachimura is now out, and Austin Reeves is listed as doubtful, probably won't play. Luka and LeBron are listed as game time decision. I still don't want to bet against my Lakers though, man. They have won the last 2 of the 3 head-to-head matchups this season, so this is the last matchup. The Clippers beat them the first game, and then the Lakers won the last 2, including the one that they just played. Lakers been hooping, man. I think it's JJ Redick in my opinion. 8-2 straight up, 7-3 against the spread. They won 5 straight. They've covered 4 of their last 5. They're 6-0 to the under in their last 6 because defensively they are the best defensive rated team in the NBA, and this is their 4th straight home game for the Lakers as well. I know it's a quick revenge spot for the Clippers, and they get Nolan Powell back. The Lakers gonna be without a couple key pieces, but I don't know. I kind of want to bet the under. I kind of feel like the Lakers defense will still be good. I mentioned them being really good defensively. Last 5 games, 103.6 defensive rating. The Clippers defense has been terrible, but I kind of feel like it's going to get better. Like, I don't think that they're this bad of a defensive team. That's one of the reasons they only, 2-8 against the spread in their last 10 games. Defensively, they are 20th in defensive rating, 117.7. That game on Friday did stay under the total. It's very similar to this total today at 220. So that's the way I guess I'll lean is towards the under. The Lakers offense is middle of the pack at 114.3 offensive rating. I think it could struggle a little bit without having Austin Reeves out there to play make outside of Luka and LeBron. So yeah, and I'm expecting the Clippers defense to be a little bit better. So that's the way that I'll look. It's just a look towards the under. Probably end up staying off the side in the spread. Let's see what the thought processes are here. Justin says Boston now 4.5 on Bet365. Bet Rivers line moving, but total on the standstill. I like under more than anything else, but I also kind of think Denver can keep that game close, man. 77 figure says Thunder may play with their food here. Can't get there, just too many points. I agree. Justin says Hardenstein 12 boards plus 102 in his pocket. Helping Hand says, ain't LeBron about to break a record? LeBron all over. That's all the time though, Adam. Every game, man. Chad says he took the 2. Would still lay it, whatever here. So betting against my Lakers. Yeah, I'm not betting against the Lakers right now, man. Not betting against the Lakers. Malik says, was there something specific that made you think Bulls team total under? So I'll come back to this, Malik. But yeah, I'll talk through that. He says, I like the play as well, but can't trust Indiana with the pace. It should be high scoring. We'll talk about that. Adam says, why would the Lakers be plus 4.5 at home with Bron and Luka? Now they're dogs again. Make it make sense. I think it's the Rui not being there, the Austin Reeves. Eventually the Lakers are going to lose a game. Just hasn't been recently. They haven't lost but 1 game since the break, and that was the first one against the Charlotte Hornets. And their offense just didn't show up in that game. Defensively, they still were really good. Joe says, sorry, don't want to keep you on the previous game, but just found this. Teams with above 65% win percentage after the All-Star break off 3 straight overs since 2020 are 17, 30, and 2. So that's the under bet. Suggests OKC could start playing defense again. And I mean, you would think so. I just worry about San Antonio being able to score too, especially on the second leg of a back-to-back. I guess I kind of look towards the full game under. No, not the full game under. I still don't want under. I guess I still just want OKC. I think that they still should be able to score. Even if they're at home or on the road, I feel like they should be able to score. The thing that holds me up a little bit is that both games so far this season have gone under the total, but those games did have Victor Wembanyama. So I'll lean OKC team total up and over still. Dirty Ray says Lakers record without Reeves, not great. Bron over his rebounds for Rome. He has been killing it. DJ Prop says this line tells me someone is going to sit tonight. I'm guessing LeBron and or Luka. LJ says Anthony Edwards over his points in I didn't talk about that game, but not laying points with Phoenix. I'll tell you that. And I just want to know if they're going to play. Like, it's too many injury question marks for me. Bill questionable, Gobert. I think Gobert's out. Randall potentially making his return. Anthony Edwards questionable. I like over in the game. It was at 220. Yeah. Oh, I was about to say it was at. Well, it still moved. It was at 227 when I wrote it down last night. It's up to 232. Only reason I didn't pull the trigger is because I wasn't sure if Anthony Edwards was going to play or not. But and I want him in if I want to take it over. But yeah, those games have gone over, LJ. I'm not going to talk about it on the show like too much, but 7 of the last 10 have actually stayed up and over, have gone up and over the total going back to the playoffs last year. And both games so far this season have gone up and over the total between Minnesota and Phoenix. So just some quick thoughts there. Powell is the engine of the Clippers at this point, Chad says. LJ says Lakers 10-1 against the spread first quarter since Luka trade. It's a nice look. It does seem automatic, but knowing Powell being back, maybe that changes some stuff. And you got to look at the injury report, Adam. Lakers missing 2 starters. Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves are starters. And I like I said, when you add the the Jared Vanderbilts and the Dorian Finney-Smiths of the world, they're still a really good defensive team. So I think the Lakers offense takes more of a hit than their defense, which is why I lean under between Lakers and Clippers. Let's see what else. The Wolves will beat Phoenix, and I took the over. You can see that. Lakers +3 and first quarter. They're going to figure it out. Dalton at shooting guard tonight. Sundays always worry me too, David. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Sundays are weird in the NBA. All right, so let's jump into. I know. To this comment from Malik right here, real quick. Let's just jump into this real quick. So, like I said, I didn't make a graphic for the game because I don't bet Bulls games. But before we get to this recap, I'm gonna just talk about this Chicago and Indiana game real quick. So, a couple things I looked at here, Malik, was, let's see, what did I write in my notes? So I wrote, so the injury report, first and foremost, Chicago has Kevin Huerter listed as questionable. Ayo Dosunmu I saw is listed as out for the season. That hurts. Kobe White is listed as probable. Lonzo is probable, and Vucevic is out. So the Bulls play better defense with Lonzo on the floor for whatever reason. You got a Pacers team that's coming off a loss as a favorite. They typically play a little bit better defense in the next spot. And the Bulls off an overtime game where they won in their next game. So real quick, just to put some numbers to that, I looked into this last night. So Bulls and previous win as a dog are 8-9 to the under. 9-8. I'm sorry, 9-8 to the under. But if they're coming off an overtime game, they are 2-0. So 2-0 to the under, Malik, are the Bulls off an overtime game. Specific why I wanted the team total. So I wanted to play on Pacers off a loss because they just lost to Miami, of course. So this is predicated off Chicago being the Pacers being a really bad matchup for the Bulls. So they played twice this season. The Bulls I don't know how good the Bulls are. Don't even ask me. But I know that the Pacers have actually beaten them and covered both of the spreads. They covered a 3.5 and a 5. And I think the Chicago struggled. I think the Chicago did get to 120 in one of those games. But I like it because the Pacers are like I said, coming off a loss as a favorite. Chicago could potentially run out of gas here. But more so than that, what do the Bulls like to do? They like to get out and run, right? Full season, second in three-point frequency, 10th in three-point accuracy. Over the last handful of games, same thing. Last 5 games, second in three-point frequency, 12th in three-point accuracy. The Pacers' three-point defense has been really, really good. If they get scored on, it's typically in the paint. I think Bam Adebayo had a big game in the last one. So the Pacers are number 1 in three-point frequency, opponent three-point frequency. They're running teams off the three-point line. 32% of their opponent's shots are coming at the three-point line. That's number 1 in the league. They're also top 10 against above the break 3, 7th, holding teams to 32.8%. What else do the Pacers like to do? They love to get out and run, right? This is a team that loves to run in transition. The Pacers are top 5 in both transition, top 10 in both transition and frequency for their opponent, and their top 10 in transition efficiency. So I do think as long as, so let's just look at, I think I looked at this pace stuff too real quick. Yeah, so Pacers, for whatever reason, playing a little bit slower, 14th in pace over the last 5 games. I think the Bulls, just the way that the Bulls like to score, the Pacers don't allow teams to score. So as long as the Pacers can put pressure on the rim, put pressure on the 3-point line, run Chicago off the 3-point line, and get back in transition defense, I do think that they struggle to score. The team total last night, though, and the reason why I'm definitely not playing this, was 117.5. Because this total has dropped a lot. It was at 243.5 last night. It's actually down to 241.5. So the team total was 117.5, and Chicago's team total right now is 115.5. So yeah, I want all the points if I want to take a Bulls under, but that's the way that I would look in this game, would be a Chicago team total under, Malik. Hopefully that makes sense. Also, real quick, to that point, and I know y'all see it up here now, but Obi Toppin up and over his 9.5 points. When I was looking through this earlier, not that the Bulls haven't been really like solid in transition defense, but when I was looking through, and it's on the short list, I haven't bet it yet, but Obi up and over his 9.5 points. This is predicated off Benedict Mathurin not being there. Excuse me. With Benedict Mathurin not there, Obi hasn't necessarily been that great, but he has been, I think that just leads to more opportunity is what I'm trying to say. But he's been really good against the Bulls this season. And we know the Bulls want to run. They want to play with pace. And Obi loves to get out and run. He scores a lot of his points in transition. 26% of his points come in transition. I think that Obi is going to be able to take advantage. He also scores a lot of his points in the paint. Restricted area is where he scores a lot of his points. And we know the Bulls is not a good team as far as defending the paint. Obi has played against the Bulls twice this season. He's gone up and over the 9.5 in both games. He had 17 in the first matchup and 12 in the second matchup. So I do like Obi up and over his 9.5 points. Best number was on Fanatics at -115, over 9.5 points for Obi Toppin. So I didn't talk about that, but that's the quick handicap there. The other things that I talked about, and to get into a quick recap, I just kind of mentioned it all. Denver, Boston, I think the game stays under. The total is dropped now. So 234.5 was available before the show started. Looks like a 234 is available right now on Bet Rivers and Bally Bet. And you don't even have to play it. Like you could play it after, a high scoring first quarter. You get a better number anyway. We'll see what happens with the Portland and Cleveland. With the totals continue to go north, I don't like that as much. But if Jeremy Grant gets ruled in and Denny Avdia gets ruled in, then that total should go up. And then I'll take a Portland team total under, maybe even get a 113.5. It's 112.5 right now, and I do like that number a lot. Just talked about Obi. Chicago team total is not 117.5 anymore, so I should probably just delete that. This is what it was last night when I was handicapping the games, but that total is gone, so I'll just erase that all together. And then quickly, I do like him under his 22.5 points plus assists. Let's see real quick, plus assists. Let's see what the best number for quickly is real quick. Quickly is 22.5 minus 105 on Fanatics is the best number you can get for Manuel Quickly. He's actually juiced to the over on a couple books, but I'm going to just trust the handicap and think that Quickly struggles to score the basketball in this spot. So those are the plays that I like today. Honorable mentions would be OKC team total up and over 125.5. I do think that that game's going to be played with pace. I think that they should be able to score in that game as well. Not laying that many points with New Orleans on the road in Utah, even though Utah is down everybody. I did find a pretty cool angle to bet Isaiah Collier under his points and rebounds. He's been killing his assist line, but he's under his points and rebounds in a lot of games. The problem is the Pelicans' transition defense is really, really poor. So I'm not sure if I want to play that or not. But yeah, I found a really cool look on Isaiah Collier under his points plus rebounds. I didn't pull the trigger on it. And then we'll see what happens with the injury report for Minnesota and Phoenix. But I want to play over and I want to play Minnesota. So maybe even Minnesota team total up and over to stay away from the spread. But I'm not laying points with Phoenix. We know how that goes. And Lakers and Clippers, I'll lean under the 220, even though they do get Norm Powell back. So it'd be Clippers and Lakers under. If you're new to the show, like if this is one of your first times watching, all the plays in red are plays that I have not bet, but that are on my short list. Just kind of waiting for the injury report on most of these games. If you are someone who wants access to my plays, then they can be found using the link in the description of the video. So that's what I got for you guys today. I do appreciate you all for tapping in. We'll be back tomorrow. There are 7 games tomorrow on the board. So hopefully we can try to, stay hot. We have been winning a lot of bets recently. Need to stay hot, and I will be back tomorrow. Enjoy your Sunday. Catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.